of a race, swoop around the outside. Joshua Germany putting up an almighty defence. Garrett Kaler taking his second win. Stephen King for Pulse eSports makes it 3 for 3 at Oran Park. Andy Fox wins. Henry Morse makes it the double and takes another win here at Watkins Glen. Blake comes around the final corner and across the line. Jameson Hudson has done it. Championship rival Morgan Burkhardt wins again. And there we have it. Two-time Jetta Cup champion, Jake Cranston. Hello guys and girls, welcome back to the Racing Line for, you know what time it is, it's your Monday night entertainment, the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GT Omega Racing. Of course, if you're going to buy any GT Omega products, now is the time because Halloween is round the corner and their sales are coming up. And on top of those sales, the Halloween gifts, whatever they've got on offer, which they will have plenty over this next month, then you can use the code TRL and get a further 5% discount. Or TRL5, either one of those should work, so good luck with your purchases. Of course, we're here for the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GT Omega, partnered with VCO eSports with our friends over there. You could be watching with us on the Racing Line, YouTube or Twitch, or VCO eSports, YouTube and Twitch. I am your commentator, Jack Johns, and we are here for round 5, the halfway point, the summit point of the season. That wasn't done on purpose. What an absolute fluke that was. What a phrase, as we see someone taken to the grass there in the bottom right. Cutting the grass, that is Equiliquay getting it in shot and parking it up. Summit Point Raceway, the halfway point of the season. We're still in America. It's the quadruple header of the US of A. We was at Lime Rock last week, and what a race we had as per usual for round 4. There was some really close racing. It was difficult to pass there, but yet these guys managed it, and now here we are at Summit Point, where actually I think the circuit is, I personally think the circuit is similar. There is a lot of slipstream, as you can see from that track map, but the passing can be quite difficult, especially when you've got that nice long straight. It's a 2-mile circuit. You've got that nice long straight where the exit of the final corner is paramount to getting the move done. Most people will defend the inside. The move can be done round the outside, but what you'll find is a lap later, you're in the reverse situation, and the person you just passed is going to pass you back. Now, that's all well and good when you're racing 1v1, but with 30 of you out there, 32 to be exact, I believe we have on the grid today, it's a little bit trickier, because as soon as you make one mistake in passing someone, and you are offline, as we have seen, you normally end up losing not one position, not 2 positions, but a massive train of positions, however many of you are in that group fighting. And in the feature race with the pit stops, it's even more important not to lose that amount of time. We might see some racing in that little twisty section in the middle. We definitely did in practice, although it's very risky and I don't think worth it personally. But some people might be trying to brave it around the outside there. And keeping their nose in through that fast section, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some spins or some contact through that section, especially coming into the downhill right-hander. Now, let's have a look at what is the situation right now. It's practice. There's 5 minutes left. I've got 5 minutes to reel through the championship standings and what is going on as we have a look at this nice scenic cam. But before we do that, because I don't want to forget this again. Oh, Christoph Plays is in chat already, in YouTube chat, saying, "Good evening, Mr. Johns. Can't wait for the 2 great races today." Thank you very much for coming back and watching once again. Let me know how it all sounds and how it's looking whilst I go through this sort of stuff. What was I going to look at first? Oh, Summit Point. It's in West Virginia, by the way. We're going to look at the journey from the last round. It looks like this. We were at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. It's only a little truck drive. Few hundred miles, I believe. Here we go. Down south, northeast, southwest, down to West Virginia. There it is. Summit Point Raceway. Now, this is going to have to be quick. It's going to have to be quick. Let's have a look at these standings. So, We'll start with the team's championship as usual. Meatball sitting 12th, 83 points behind Lurchus, who are in 11th. Lurchus could be arguably closer to P10, but the first half of the season has been filled with peculiar situations for them. Ika losing out in Zandvoort, but leading the team in terms of points, and Corpus having pace in every session this season, apart from the race sessions. Jesus is catching Ika, however. CFG sit in 10th with a few missed rounds and potentially some more throughout the rest of the season. It might be tough for them to climb again, but it won't stop Greg, Martin and Brandon from trying. Dan Thornton will be pleased that ORD signings Andre Mayerek and Patrick Dupart are starting to find their feet. Andre scoring the 6th highest point score of the last round of anyone last time out, and they sit P9 in the team standings at the moment. Frog Leap Juiced Racing are 8th, maybe up for grabs with the departure of Ray Oliver from the whole season, but with the pairing of Carl Ridley and Jameson Huffman, it won't be easy for others. They may still even climb the standings. Team 12 only 13 points ahead, with perhaps the most mixed bag of drivers. A day carrying the team, with Dan Blake looking to turn his fortunes. Rod Askew will be hunting his way out of last place when he comes to these races. Goldwing sit in 6th with the absent Murray due to car troubles, Simrig troubles. Sam has been quietly finishing midfield, whilst Downing has been going through the highs and lows of motorsport with his pace, though he has still been collecting those points, and he sits 8th in the overall standings. I genuinely think with the next 5 teams, anything can happen. In 5th, win it or bin it, with the resurging John Bailiff this season and consistent Fox and Burns, the team looks like it could be underperforming right now, but do not count them out just yet. 4th place is Masters of Talk, last season's champions. They have an unchanged lineup and are still within 60 points of the next 2 teams. A winless Jake Cranston took the lead of the standings before round 4, but then he took both wins last time out. Jerry has been in the wars, and Donny, similar to Dan Downing, has hit or miss point scoring rounds. 3rd place are new entry Street Casuals. Don't let the name fool you, there's nothing casual about them. 2 of the drivers have a season or 2 under their belts with other teams and decided to go rogue this season. Henry Morse leaving Pulsus, and Austin Farr from Down Under, which is now Frog Leap Juiced Racing. Both of them take rookie driver Eric Manenveld, who, just like in the RLTC season, has put in some impressive performances so far here. Project Dynamics sits 2nd, with Morgan Burkhard contesting for another championship title here on the racing line. Thurtle also has a win to his name. Can we see Alex van der Velde claim a win this season? And Pulsus at the moment lead the way, with Joshua Germany claiming a win. Stephen King no win yet, and Timu Toika no win yet either. How long have we got? 2 minutes to go through the standings before qualifying starts. I think I'm gonna let that 2 minutes tick over before I go through the 32 drivers, because we know it sometimes gets stuck if I don't make it in time. So I'll hide that. And just whilst I'm talking about that, let's have a look at chat. Tide says, let's see how Martin does using hand controls today. Martin Wallace, by the way, for those of you watching today's stream. Martin Wallace, currently 15th in practice, only 3 tenths off of the fastest time to be in 15th. He, I believe, I could get this wrong, but I'm sure he'll correct me. He's had hip surgery within like the last few days. He wasn't going to make it today, but he's so keen for this circuit. He's so keen to join in this race that he's fighting through the pain right now. If we see him disappear, I'm going to be slightly worried, to be honest. But we'll definitely be speaking to Martin at some point throughout today if he sticks around. You've got 2 ZFG drivers up there in 15th and 16th. Greg Otley, who they were racing all through Lime Rock last time out. Both Martin and Greg in the same place. And look at them together again. It's going to be very much the same situation. The times are insanely close between first and, well, we've got a second between first and 32nd. That is some craziness. This is what it looks like in between each driver. 11 thousandths between Ridley and Burkhard. Whoa. 4 thousandths between Cranston and Bailiff. 8 thousandths between King and Cranston. 12 thousandths. Thurtle to King. Madness. 6 thousandths Downing to Van der Velde. 9 thousandths between... This is insane. 5 thousandths between Joshua Germany and Greg Otley. Corpus and Koba. 2 thousandths between Agard and Toika. Well, I have no idea what to expect for today's race, but we're going to find out as we see Greg Otley go across the line for the final time. 45 minutes ticks over, and qualifying is going to get underway. Christoph says, sound is great, view is great, I'm glad to be here. Avavoom says, let's go ZFG. ZFG, plenty of fans. Right, qualifying has ticked over, so now I can go through the championship standings without it glitching out. We need to start from the bottom. Now we're here. Rod Askew, 36th place at the moment with 34 points. Holmichael in 35th. Hughes, Corpus, Jan Weisvanger, Ray Oliver and Caraday are your bottom 6 in the standings so far. Corpus just not showing his pace there. He's definitely out of position because he has been quick at some practice sessions. Duncan Murray have missed a couple of rounds. He's still in 29th. Amundere, 94 points, joint with Dan Thornton. Keep an eye on that fight. Look at all the Jettas in the background coming out for their quali out laps. 105 points for Andy Fox in 26th. Ike Lequay just ahead of him in 25th. Jerry Agard 24th. Dan Blake 23rd. Greg Otley 22nd. 21st for Stephen Burns, and Donny Henriksen is in P20 at the moment. Keep an eye on him. He normally sneaks up the championship order in the late phase of the season, which we are about to enter. Patrick Dupart is in 19th place. In 18th, we have Carl Ridley for Frog Leap Juice Racing. Sam Van Alst in 17th. Henry Morse climbing his way is joint points with Arthur Thurtle, who has a win to his name. Henry Morse, no win just yet, but he was fastest in practice, so keep an eye on the American driver today at one of his home circuits. We can call all the American races all the Americans' home circuits, even if they don't live anywhere nearby. Arthur Thurtle in P15. Andre Mayerek has found form. He's in 14th now. Martin Wallace is in the top 13 of this season. He will be happy with that. That's why he's shown up today. He doesn't want to lose that place. He's only 2 points behind Alexander van der Velde in P12. Timu Toika, who got a number of penalties last time out. For those of you that watched with us last time out, there was a controversial moment where it looked like Timu Toika may have intentionally wrecked another driver, but upon further research and looking at all the angles, we have since found out that it was not done on purpose and it was just a mistake through the fast right-hander of Lime Rock Park. Jameson Huffman, though, the one that was involved in that crash, is in P10, just ahead of him, so the penalty did work in the end. Eric Mannenfeld was in P9 for Street Casuals, sneaking his way up the order. Daniel Downing in P8, only 1 point ahead. Austin Farr in P7. Joshua Germany in P6. Ade Koba in P5. Stephen King P4. Morgan Burkhardt P3. John Bailiff in P2, and extending his lead with bang on 400 points is the two-time Jetta Cup champion out of 2, Jake Cranston, who took a double win last time out. Insane scenes. He matches John Bailiff and Morgan Burkhardt with 2 wins a season. This is what it looks like in terms of wins and the season coming as we approach the 3-minute mark of our 8-minute qualifying. Dan Downing currently the quickest out there. That's showing by 2 seconds. That's a crazy interval if that is correct. I'm guessing everyone else messed up their laps or they're shuffling around trying to find space. We had the media day, which no points were on offer. Round 1 at Donington Park. Burkhardt took the first win of the season. Bailiff took the feature race win. Round 2 at Brands Hatch. Thurtle took a late pass on Jake Cranston in the sprint race to take his first win on his debut season. Bailiff took the feature race win yet again. Round 3 at Zandvoort, Burkhardt managed to take his second win of the season, matching John Bailiff and Joshua Germany. His first win ever in Jetta Cup history across 3 seasons. A very popular win indeed. And then round 4, look at that, Cranston and Cranston. Whilst we have a look at that, in fact, I can tell you, this is an insane stat, and I don't think we've ever got this close before, as Sam Van Alst goes to the top of the times in pole position, and Martin Wallace is in P2, Downing is P3. A quick shout out for Martin Wallace again. He has 1 pole position to his name in Jetta Cup history, in Jetta Cup stat world, and that was here at Summit Point all the way back in season 1, over a year ago, way over a year ago. I was about to say something about Jake Cranston last time out getting his double win. Oh yes, something we haven't seen before. The maximum amount of points on offer in any given Jetta Cup round this season is 123 points. Jake Cranston last time out took 122. He was 1 point away from having a perfect Grand Slam round. To get those points, you would need to get, just so that you know how that works, to get 123 points, you would need pole position, which Jake got. You would need your sprint race win, which Jake got. You would need your feature race win, which Jake got. You would also need the fastest lap in both races to get those last 2 points. Jake got the fastest lap in the feature, but he was denied his perfect round by 1 man. Who was that 1 man, I hear you ask? Someone snuck in a fastest lap in the sprint race that actually wasn't anywhere to be seen, and that man is right here. It was Henry Morse, the American driver. He finished 32nd, but he took the fastest lap to get the extra point and denied Jake Cranston his perfect Grand Slam in the Jetta Cup. One thing we was talking about earlier in the teams, there's 3 drivers in each team. I don't think in the Jetta Cup that we've ever seen a team claim a win with each driver in one season. I don't think we've ever had a team with all 3 drivers scoring a win. I'm not saying that's going to happen this time round, this season, but that's a stat that we don't have yet. So if any teams are aiming for a historic stat here, then that is the one that I think you need to be aiming for. Let's have a look. Oh, bit of contact there between Brandon Hughes and Henry Morse. Bit of a speed difference. Let's have a look at Jameson Huffman, who's up there in P3. There he is, coming into the tight section. Apparently this track has 40 meters elevation, and it's described on iRacing as quite a hilly and fast circuit. If I'm honest, it doesn't feel like it's got that many hills. Let me know what you think in chat, whether you're watching with us on the Racing Line YouTube or Twitch, or the VCO YouTube or Twitch. Get involved. Come in and see us. I saw some people. We've actually started getting spectators live on the track, which is a little bit weird. Just come and watch the stream, guys. Come join in and come and talk to us. See Joseph Forax in there, Aaron Likens, Preston Buckley. Some of them might have left by now, but yeah, being nosy. Arthur Thurtle to the top of the times. 10th and a half. Project Dynamic 1-2 at the moment. I wonder if they're playing it the team game with their slipstream. Alexander van der Velde currently 6 tenths off in 24th place. Insane. Anyway, as I was saying, a hilly circuit this has been described as. Let's go on board with Jameson Huffman. Now, I can obviously, we've just exited turn 1. There's a slight hill here. It doesn't seem very steep, does it? We've got 1 minute to go, so hopefully we'll make it to the end of this lap. Now, it is going up here, but doesn't feel like 40 meters. You come over this crest, and now, watch this. This is the only hill that I could think of when I read this fact. It goes right downhill, fast right here, goes down to 5th, hard on the brakes, tight hairpin, cambered in nicely, and then get on that throttle in 3rd gear. Over to the left, open up this corner. Is he going to downshift to 3rd again or keep it in 4th? I'd keep it in 4th. He does keep it in 4th gear. And then look, you can't really, there's no hills here. This is just all pretty much flat. It doesn't make sense to me, but it says it's 40 meters elevation. There's 40 meters elevation. Oh, look, here's a bit of a bump. Up, and then back down again towards the final corner. And then I guess a slow climb that we saw in the exit of turn 2. Let's see what chat is saying. Hip replacement. I hope it doesn't affect any ability to press buttons. Vanolst, we want Greg. Greg's the best. Lock up your girlfriends. Greg the man, the myth, the legend. Goat. Vanolst hype. Spectate Vanolst. Spectate Vanolst, please. Sam Vanolst is currently not driving. He was in the pit lane. I missed my chance. Spectate Greg, give us Vanolst 92. Evening, says Kakala. Vanolst has a lot of fans. Greg has a lot of fans, and Vanolst has a lot of fans here tonight. We've got some people spamming chat for Vanolst and Greg. Good to see some fans. If there's anyone else supporting anyone else, then please jump in chat. Say hello. Do not be shy. Let's get that grid done before the time ticks over. Pole position goes to Arthur Thurtle. Oh, I need to quickly find something out because we've had 4 pole sitters in 4 rounds so far. Is Arthur Thurtle a 5th one? No, he's the first driver to claim 2 pole positions. So well done to Arthur Thurtle. Morgan Burkhardt, Austin Farr, Jameson Huffman, Dan Downing, Patrick Dupart, Jake Cranston, Timu Toyka, Stephen King and Sam Vanolst round off your top 10. Martin Wallace makes into the top 12, as does John Bailiff, who might be looking for another cheeky feature race win if he's going to end there in 12th place. Donny Henriksen, Andre Majorek, Henry Morse, Jesus Mundere, Jerry Agard, Joshua Germany, Ade Cobra and Brandon Hughes, your top 20. Jesus Mundere, that is a cracking qualifying from him, only 4 tenths off the fastest time. Carl Ridley, Ika LeQuay, Dan Blake and Greg Otley, your top 24. Alexander van der Velde, Dan Thornton, Eric Mannenveld, Alejandro Caraday, David Corpus, Sebastian Holmichael, Andy Fox, Stephen Burns and Jan Weiswanger, 33rd driver on the grid. Andy Fox and Stephen Burns, that is a shocking qualifying from them and they will be disappointed. It could be bumpy all around the track with all the hills. Give me an R. Oh, there's people kicking off. I can't read all those individual note messages. Let's get ready for the race. We've got 30 seconds. It is race time until the lights come on. We are currently looking at Arthur Thurtle on the start-finish straight. That's a bit far away. We don't want that one. We definitely don't want that one. This is going to be the best view. Oh, you can feel the tension as the lights come on. We got the track map on the right-hand side. The sprint race is about to begin. The laps will show on top of the screen. 5 lights are on, and away they go. You're going to see the puff of smoke from all the wheel spin. Who's going to get the better start? It's a Project Dynamic 1-2 as they come down the main straight. Donnie Henriksen looks to be making moves on John Bailiff already in the mid-pack as we see all 33 drivers in a straight line. A long run down to turn 1. Austin Farr's going to make it 3 wide. Jameson Huffman's on the outside. Morgan Burkhardt after the breaks on the grass. He's lost 3 positions as Morgan Burkhardt takes the lead. Austin Farr and Jameson Huffman make it round the outside. Is there any contact down the order through turn 1? Not quite. Alejandro Carade is up there as well in 28th place, but in your lead, Jameson Huffman moves up the inside of Austin Farr. He's going to take P2, or is he? Because Austin Farr holds it round the outside on the gravel. He's going to have the inside now as they head down towards the hill. Jake Cranston and Stephen King, who have battled so fiercely here before in Season 1, are going side by side back there. Jake Cranston's on the inside of the hairpin, and I think Stephen King might be off the circuit. They're 3 wide into the hairpin. Dan Downing forcing his way through, and he's spun. Dan Downing making it 3 wide into the hairpin. Stephen King survives, and away they go. Dan Downing goes down the order once again. That will be, we'll have to look at a replay of that and see what it was. Arthur Thurtle has a black flag, which is why he's going down the order. I wonder, why would he get a black flag? That must be a jump start that early in the race. Thurtle jump, I've seen it. So Arthur Thurtle, starting from pole position, got a jump start, and he is going to the pits. There he goes, and that proves that point. We would have assumed that. Looks like Dan Downing is still in the race. Eric Manintveld down the field as well. So I wonder what's happened to him. But Morgan Burkhardt leads the way. And look at Patrick Dupart in 4th place, chasing down Austin Farr. They're all in single file. The slipstream fest begins as there's 2x2 down the back end. Jesus Amundere is looking down the inside of Andre Majorek here. Ika Lequay, Dan Blake going to go side by side. Van der Velde, Hughes, Otley, Corpus, and then Dan Thornton involved there as well. Just behind, he's looking to get places. Those Win It or Bin It boys in 26th and 27th, they will be looking for a nice clean race to try and climb that order as we have a look at King and Van Olst here in 7th and 8th. Bailiff and Agard are going at it through turn 2, and look at that, that's a Day Cobra trying to get through as well, and Joshua Germany behind there for Pulses eSports. Jerry Agard round the outside of John Bailiff down towards the hairpin. Jerry Agard is going to go up, he's keeping 12th place here. A Day Cobra's looking for his way through, can't get through there, it's a little bit tight through the hairpin, but John Bailiff, very clean racing from the boys so far. This is a cracking race, and we're only on lap 2 of 10 as we see Arthur Thurtle and Eric Marintveld on the same point of the circuit. They're the only 2 out of this race so far. Dan Downing has got to keep his head in the game. He's still very much in the train, and he's got 8 laps to gain positions to try and set his feature race alight. But Morgan Burkhardt has pulled a 1-second lead. I should mention that Morgan Burkhardt and Jameson Huffman know each other outside of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, but I'm not going to say that they're teaming up, because I feel like if Jameson has a chance of a win, then he will take that chance of a win for Frog Leap Juice Racing. But Austin Farr looking round the outside down towards turn 1. Jameson's going to squeeze him into the braking zone. He's been warned for leaning on people before as Jake Cranston sends it down the inside of Patrick Dupart, and Timu Toika is going to try and come through as well. The fat Timu Toika, as he's known in chat. They're side by side down towards turn 2. Patrick Dupart is not giving up against the 2-time Jetta Cup champion. He's going to try and brake as late as he dares through the right hander. I think he might come out on top. No, they're still side by side as they head down towards the right hander now. I wonder if this camera is going to work. Let's give it a go as they come out from behind the trees. Dupart has lost the position to Cranston. Toika is now around his outside for this hairpin as we see the nice camera here, and Toika's now going to have the inside for the right hander. This is what I was talking about. If you're offline, you are offline. Germany and Cobra have come together, and they're going down the order, and Stephen King keeping it safe there. So Joshua Germany and Cobra having an absolute nightmare there in the background somewhere, but Dupart, Toika and Cranston absolutely putting on the show. I mean, I seriously underestimated that this race would have spread out at some point. It really has not spread out at the moment as Germany looks to the inside of Andy Fox heading towards the final corner. Toika and Dupart side by side. King is, oh, look at the speed that King has. How much slipstream has he got? Henry Morse is behind him. Ex-teammates, Street Casuals and Pulsus there. I think Henry Morse is going to give, he doesn't want to help out Pulsus. He's left them for a reason, but Stephen King goes down the inside of Patrick Dupart. Patrick's going to hold it around the outside. He's going to do what he did with Jake as they head down towards turn 2. This is what it looks like behind Stephen now. Henry has chosen the other driver to follow. He's tried giving Stephen a little bit of a push towards turn 2. Are we going to see Patrick Dupart appear at some point on the right-hand side, or has he kept his car ahead? No, there he is. He is very much ahead of Stephen King. This is what it looks like on board of that car. Down into the hairpin, shuffling down those gears. Koba still making moves. Germany making moves on Burns. They're still in 26th and 27th. The winner or Bennett pair, and Stephen King just looking for ways past Patrick Dupart for ORD in another top 5 position. We've seen him up here before, and we know he can hold it, but he is going to race his little heart out up there in the top 5. Can he keep them at bay? That is the question. That is the real question here, as we see them all come flying towards the final turn of turn 10. There is Morgan Burkhardt. That is Jameson Huffman and Austin Farr and Cranston. Dupart, King, Morse, Toyka, Wallace, Van Nolst, Henriksen, Agard and Bailiff. Who have we got next? That's Mayerek, Ridley, Amundere, Van der Velde, Lecquay, Hughes, Otley, Corpus, Blake, Dan Thornton, Koba, Germany, Burns, Fox, Michael Van Olst, and Weisswang are still very much in this train. And that's Alejandro Caraday just about holding on, and Manintveld and Thurtle miles behind due to their earlier incidents. And Henry Morse goes side by side with Stephen King, and Huffman is under pressure from far once again. These guys are going to be giving it no quarter for this podium position. The way the points system works in the Jetta Cup this season, it is 60 points for a win, and each podium place is worth 5 points difference. So it's 55 for second, 50 for third, and then there's a 4-point drop to 4th place as Jake Krauser looks to the inside of the hairpin of Austin Farr. Can he get that done? Now he's going to be on the outside. This will be tricky to keep it committed through here, but if anyone can do it, the 2-time Jetta Cup champion can. He's going to try and keep his nose in, and now he backs out and slots back behind as Downing and Fox are racing each other there. Dan Downing is keeping his head in the game as he's making his way back up to 27th. Sam Van Olst wanted some screen time earlier. It's lap 5 of 10, and here he is in P10. He's getting a top 10 finish here today. I wonder if he's actually put some practice in this week. He's got Donny Henriksen right behind him, though. 2 Masters of Talk cars, in fact, behind him, and John Bailiff is somehow in there as well in a Masters of Talk sandwich. Dan Thornton is having the race of his life with Dan Blake here. He's I don't want to speak for Dan Thornton right now. Maybe Liz is in chat. She normally watches along with us. Liz creates, but maybe Dan is having is he smiling right now? He's right in this fight. He's in P23 at the moment. In old Jetta Cup rules, the points only went down to P20, so there'll be 3 more places, but there are more drivers this season and the strength of field is higher, so the points go all the way down to 36th place. Eric Manintveld and Arthur Thurtle are going to end up racing for 32nd and 33rd. They are together on the track. Let's see if we can actually, we're going to miss battles, which is a real shame, as we see Henry Morse and Stephen King go down the inside of Patrick Dupart into the hairpin. And I think they've both got the move done as they enter the right-hander. So Patrick losing 2 places in 1 there. I want to see the replay of the 1, the start, and 2, some of the crashes before the session ticks over. Because, well, we just want to see it. Let's have a look. Arthur Thurtle. There's his jump start. He's already wheel spun. So that is why Arthur Thurtle has got a black flag. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, look at that. Oh, what a shame for Arthur. Then the next incident was Alejandro Caraday went off the track. Joshua Germany is coming in the pits. So I wonder if he's had another issue. Alejandro Caraday and Eric Manintveld were the ones that came together down the hill. Oh, Eric Manintveld just about keeping his car on the brakes there. That's a shame for those two, so that's why they ended up down there. Dan Downing, what's happened to him? So he's already off here. It's David Corpus. Has he already gone off? Yeah. What happened to Daniel Downing? I can't actually see where the issue was with Dan. Let me try here. So they're going 3 wide into this corner, which was never going to work. Stephen King's car is ahead. So I guess it just gets a little bit rough on exit. There's the slide. We need an overhead camera of this, really. That looks clumsy there on the exit. Let's see if we can have another look. very wide into this corner. It's an insane idea. And then this is where the secondary contact happens. Dan Downing and Stephen King. And then his rear end gets pit round. Oh, okay. So that's a weird one. It's actually from the rear end spinning round where that contact looked like it happened, which is weird. Look at Henry Morse making a dive. That's unfortunate. That will get analysed in detail later on, I'm sure. Sam Van Olst went off track. We need to find, there was a issue with Ade Koba and Joshua Germany. Here they are. It's going to be in that right-hander again, the fast right-hander, Joshua Germany. Oh, Joshua Germany. That was very clumsy for the Pulsars driver. And then they actually ended up both going off anyway. Interesting behaviour from those two. Anything else? Anything else of note? Jake Cranston going off circuit. Don't think we've seen many other issues. I don't know why Josh... Whoa, that is a big run off the circuit. I think that is it for replays, luckily. So let's go back live and catch what is happening. Somehow, Jake Cranston is in P2. And this is how he done it. He was round the outside of far, and he's down... Oh, he does. He's not down the inside. Oh, he is down the inside of Jameson Huffman. What a move from Jake Cranston there to take P2 of this race. But can he hold it? That will be... Well... He's that good, isn't he? But Jameson Huffman is not going to let him keep that. He's trying to hold him tight. They're in the middle of the circuit. Morgan Burkhardt, I think it's safe to say, on lap 9 out of 10, that he is going to win this race. Street Casuals are going to be getting many points with 2 of their cars in the top 5. It's unfortunate what happened to Mannenfeld. He's in 32nd. Huffman down the inside of Jake Cranston into the fast left. Are they going to touch on exit? Not quite. They've given each other room, and now they're heading down towards the right-hander as they're going to come out from behind the trees, or go behind the trees in this case, where the camera is. Jameson Huffman down the inside of this next corner. I don't know what, I've lost the corner numbers. I think this is turn 6 if I had to have a guess. Maybe 5, because then this is like 7, 8 and 9, and then the final corner is 10. But Jake Cranston looks like he's going to keep this position, but Jameson Huffman is still on the inside. They're side by side with Farr. This is a tough section to be side by side through. Austin Farr on the inside of turn 9 as they head down towards turn 10 now, and Henry Morse, I think, is going to give him a little bit of a push as they now go. Let's have a look at Henry Morse. What's he going to do? Oh, he has slotted in behind. So this is what it looks like on top of Henry Morse's car. You got 2 Street Casuals cars versus Jameson Huffman in the Frog Leap Juice Racing car, who has got his podium, but 4.5 seconds down the road. Look at the track map. Morgan Burkhardt is absolutely cleared out. At the moment, in reverse pole position, is Donny Alpha Henriksen. Jake Cranston moves to the inside as late as he dares. Austin Farr breaks nice and early. Jameson Huffman is going to go around the outside. He's broken deep. Austin Farr is going to look for a switchback. Who's he going to follow? He nudges Jake Cranston to give him a better run out the exit as Van Olst and Wallace are going side by side as well into turn 1. Martin Wallace, with his fresh hip replacement on Friday, is on the inside of Sam Van Olst for a P10 here at Summit Point. P9 if he gets the move done. Austin Farr and Cranston are still racing it out, and Austin Farr's going to get the move done. Austin Farr moves up into a podium place, and it looks like Henry Morse is going to get that position as well. And now it's just Jameson Huffman in P2. That's another 5 points. Is he going to take the risk? This is the final lap. Henry Morse is up 11 positions in this race at the moment in P4. Jake Cranston up 2. I think Henry Morse is the biggest gainer. He's done it again. He loves casually just passing everyone in the just any time. He'll start last and he'll find his way up there. Austin Farr did it last time out in Lime Rock Park. Street Casuals, a team to watch this season. Whoa, you don't want to be doing that. Austin Farr's trying to squeeze his way down the inside of turn 10, and Morgan Burkhardt is about to weave his way across the line. This is what it looks like. Morgan Burkhardt is going to take you in of your sprint race, and look who's side by side as they're heading down towards the finish line. Is Austin Farr going to do it? It's 98 thousandths of a second. Austin Farr P3, Jameson Huffman takes P2 in the end. Henry Morse P4, Jake Cranston P5, King and Timu there. A couple of these guys probably under investigation for incidents that happened in the race. Not many in the top 10. I remember obviously King and Downing came together at some point, so that'll probably be looked at the next day. But wow, what an ending to the first sprint race. Ade and Joshua Germany will probably be looked at as well. Pulsars cannot afford to keep being investigated 4 penalties in this American leg because it hurt them. It hurt them quite badly. They did extend their lead, but it hurt them last time out in Lime Rock Park, with 15 seconds being added to Teemu Tuikka's race. Teemu Tuikka actually seeming to be the well, I don't want to say the contactless one, just in case there was contact with him, but it seemed like he was the one that weren't getting involved in all the trouble today. Stephen King finding himself in a 3-wide battle at turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Joshua Germany finding himself in a weird fight with Ade Koba down the order. Well, what a finish. Let's have a catch up on chat because I struggled to read any of that. It was around the point where everyone was spamming about Greg and the Nolst. Giga Quali, let's go Patrick Depart, says Peter Palian on YouTube. Worm1995 says Vanost again. Christev Plays says, of course, supporting the Giga Chad team of Street Casuals. Greg and Vanost have their fans still again. Alina VN says, well done, Dan, for P5. We got Thurtles, jump start. Kakula said that. That was well called. He did get a black flag. That's unfortunate. The pole sitter Arthur Thurtle, black flag. Greg's my new queen. Not fair. Greg's got the equivalent of 2 people in his car. I'm not. It's crazy. The fans that these drivers are bringing in now. Go Martin. Hips don't work and still top 10, says Tide. To squally that guy, says Principe V2. Steward's room's going to be busy. Do you know what? I think actually that race is, despite the small incidents we saw there, I'm hoping it's not going to be as busy. That from the stream point of view, from what we've seen, felt like it was all right. Landino says, Morse in capital letters. Nick Danger 61, local boys 1-2. Indeed, 2 Americans, first and second. Giga Chad Street Casual making gains from 0 to hero. Street Casuals is best. Street Casuals earning fans throughout this season already. This were your final results for, oh my god, local boys 1-2. How about local boys 1, 2, 3, 4? Have that for a podium, an all-American podium. I don't know if I can play the American national anthem without getting copyrighted. I know Joshua Germany sings it when anyone starts the American national anthem. Just say, oh, say, can you see? Joshua Germany will then just go off on one and sing the whole thing terribly. Similar to... Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to compare it to the one at the F1 this weekend, but that would be mean. American top 4. Morgan Burkhardt, Jamison Huffman, and Austin Farr and Henry Morse there in first, second, third, and fourth. Street Casuals, big points for them. Jake Cranston P5, Stephen King P6, Teemu Tuikka P7, Patrick Dupart P8, Sam Vanels P9, John Bailiff P10, Martin Wallace and Donnie Henriksen P11 and 12. You know what that means? Ex-pole sitter at Summit Point Martin Wallace is going to be starting on the front row again at Summit Point. Not on pole though. That honour in the feature race is going to go to the Danish driver, number 88, Donnie Alpha Henriksen. Is this Donnie's best chance of a win so far? I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore, because that race was pretty insane in terms of the train that was together. No breaks for replays, really. The next race, though, twice as long. Pit stops involved. Fuel only, no tyres needed. There's a fuel trick that sometimes people get wrong, so sometimes people will make mistakes. They will run out of fuel towards the end of the race. Sometimes they miss their pit box, and the pit time can affect the race greatly. You can only pit from lap 5 onwards, unless meatballed in whatever situation previous. And, well, insane. We've seen some different strategies. Some people pit straight away. Some people like to stay out late. Some people go mid. It's hard to say what is best. It all depends on your current racing situation. Andre Mayerek, Jerry Agard, 13th, 14th. Carl Ridley, 15th. Alexander Van der Velde, P16 for Project Dynamic. Jesus Amundere and Ika Lequay. Jesus beating Ika there in 17th. That is a strong result for Lurchus Gaming. 17th and 18th place. That's a lot of points for that team. Greg Otley there in 19th. Dan Blake 20th. Brandon Hughes 21st. That's a good day for Brandon as well. Greg Otley and Brandon together on the circuit in the end. You then got David Corpus in 22nd. Dan Thornton 23rd. Dan Downing made his way back up to 24th. So he'll be looking to make gains without crashing in the feature race. Michael 25th. Burns and Fox in 26th and 7th. I wonder what is going on with those two today. They are usually... they're right up there. They're having a bad day. Maybe the team has focused all their efforts on the setup of John Bailiff's car today. Caraday and Weiswanger, 28th and 29th. Germany and Kober, 30th and 31st. Mannitveld and Thurtle, 32nd and 33rd. So other than the reverse 12, which already makes things feisty, I see another issue arising. That issue is 4 drivers who are well out of position, starting last on the grid. You've got Joshua Germany, Kober, Mannitveld and Thurtle, all quick enough for top 10s. 2 of them race winners. 1 of them a second place finisher. They could make big gains in the pit stops if they race cleanly for the first few laps. Dan Downing, actually, is the other one. He's there in 24th. A little bit out of position. Let's have a look at the quali times. This will give us a better understanding of who's out in position. Daniel Downing qualied P5, so that's who the person in chat was congratulating. Daniel Downing P5, just 2 tenths off of pole. He's down in 24th right now. Who else? Actually, Joshua Germany and Ade Kober weren't up there today. But we say that as if they were in a shocking qualifying. That Joshua Germany, 18th place, just 4.5 tenths off. It's too early to vote for the driver of the day yet. But, I mean, with a replaced hip and an 11th place finish. Sorry, that's an 11th place quali time. Where did he finish? It was top. It was 11th as well, wasn't it? He held it there. Stayed in 11th. Amazing. Can't imagine. I don't know if he's in pain. I don't know what his situation is. He's on full-on meds. Can he even see where he's going? He must be able to. So, some people out on track. Greg Otley's out there right now for ZFG. Who else have we got? Dan Thornton is out there in his ORD machine, the blue ORD machine. Got this big red bar showing up on my OBS, so I'm hoping. I mean, it's looking fine on my end, but and there's still a load of you watching across all 4 channels, so I'm assuming that everything has been fine so far. Who else have we got on track? Sebastian Holmichael. Didn't get to see him much in that race because there was so much going on in the split meatball livery, pink on one side and green on the other. Quite a striking livery, that. And Eric Mannitveld is getting some practice in as well as the 40-second timer now counts down. It's dropped a few times for very shortly. Oh, that's annoying. Greg is God, says Bobo 1992. Right, 20 seconds. Let's get ready to reel off that grid because it only gives me a minute to do so this time. Break for a drink. 15 seconds. I'll do it now. Hobby Raccoon on Twitch says Hope Wallace takes a nice break after this. He gets a full 7 days because we are in the middle of a quadruple header. We are off to Laguna Seca, I believe, next for round 6. Next week, Monday. Bit more corners on that one, a little bit of a longer circuit. It's grid time, and this is what it looks like on your grid. Donny Henriksen on pole, Wallace in second. Bailiff, Van Alst, Dupart and Toiki are top 6. King, Cranston, Morse, Farr, Huffman and Burkhardt, your top 12. Agard, Mayerek, Ridley, Van der Velde, Amundere, Lequay, Otley and Dan Blake, your top 20. Hughes, Corpus, Thornton, Downing, your top 24. Holmichael, Burns, Fox, Caraday, Weiswanger, Germany, Kober, Mannitveld and Thurtle, round off your grid. We got it done. We got it done in time with 30 seconds to spare. Now. I don't know why I keep trying that. It's happening. I'm going to let it stay silent. I feel like it builds. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And when the feature race is about to get underway, there goes the wheel spin. No tyre smoke from Donnie Henriksen's side of the grid, who starts this race in pole position. Who's got the better start out of the two of them? It looks like it's still double fire as they go down. Depart and Van Nol swapping, Thornton and Corpus swapping. Wallace is going to have a look around the outside of turn 1. He breaks as late as he dares. He holds Donnie Henriksen tight. Martin Wallace for ZFG with his hip replacement on Friday is about to have a look at Donnie Henriksen. He's on the inside now for turn 2. Let's have a look on board. Martin Wallace's car. This is what it looks like. Is he going to back out or is he going to hold it against Henriksen through turn 2? Mounts that curb. Gives him room on the exit. Where is Henriksen's car? There he is. He slots back into P2, and this is what it looks like behind him. Sam Van Nol. Oh, John Bailiff is on the inside somewhere, because there he is on the outside of this next corner. He's going to try and pass Wallace round the outside. Is Wallace going to be able to defend that? John Bailiff's a wily little fox. Sends it down the inside, and now Wallace hangs it round. There's a little bit of contact there. I think Wallace is going to keep his foot in. He's still in P2 at the moment. I think he's going to back out because he's normally quite smart. But look at that. He's fighting. This is the Martin Wallace we like to see. John Bailiff's fast into the right, and now Martin needs to be careful because Sam Van Nolst, who's currently in P4, is all over the back of him right now. That is not... There we go. He's lifted off and he's slotted in behind as they come towards the final corner. This is what it looks like as they all come through. Listen to that diesel engine roar. Joshua Germany in the pits already. That will be investigated unless there's another crash again between Joshua Germany and someone else. A takeover, Joshua Germany. Contact again, a takeover in the wall. These two, I've got a feeling, are going to be getting many a penalty. Joshua Germany, I don't know if Josh has been the cause of this or a takeover, to be honest, but we've seen them both get involved in too many crashes at the start of these races. Where has everyone gone? There is Donnie Henriksen, 8 tenths clear of John Bailiff. Henry Morse and Morgan Burkhardt are side by side as they go down towards turn 5. Henry Morse on the inside, they rub wheels. Morgan Burkhardt is going to try and keep his nose in, but he's not got his nose in. And look at Henry Morse down the inside of Jake Cranston. That looked very late from this point of view. And now Henry has the inside through 6, 7, on the outside of 8, inside of 9. Jake Cranston's going to try and hold it round. Oh, there's a car off. That's Austin Farr. Austin Farr off on the grass, and now he's going to need to be careful of his rejoin. No one ever uses reverse. Look, he could reverse right now. No point. He's just going to wait, and away he goes. Austin Farr's race is looking pretty much over, but he's got a long tie. He's got 19 laps to claw his way back up through the field, but it is a big task for Austin Farr now. I wonder what happened actually. There must have been contact through the side-by-side through turns 8 and 9. He's with Huffman, 2 Americans. There it was. Huffman just shoulder barged him to the left, and around Austin Farr goes. Potential racing incident, but I'm sure we'll watch it again at some point. Sam Van Olst, P4. Martin Wallace, P3. Patrick Dupart in the top 5 again, and Arthur Thurtle comes into the pits on lap 3. I wonder... We need to keep checking these because they can only pit this early if they're meatballed. And that will be... He's going to get a penalty as well if he just drives straight into the pits. Watch this. That'll be an unsafe pit entry and a 40-second hold. Arthur Thurtle's day goes from bad to worse. Project Dynamics, quick new signing, is having the baptism of fire. Ade Koba is still in the pits, so I wonder if he's calling it a day. Oh, do you know what? That was a terrible joke, and I didn't even mean to do it. I apologise for that. Donnie Henriksen leads this race. He's now only got 2 temps behind him. John Bailiff hunting him down well within slipstream for the win it or bin it car. He has won 2 feature races so far this season. Morgan Burkhardt took his 3rd race win in the sprint, and now John Bailiff is looking around the outside of Donny Alpha Henriksen, who breaks nice and late, tries to keep John Bailiff at bay, and he does keep John Bailiff at bay around the outside. But now John is going to have a quick look, I imagine, to the inside of turn 2. He's going to keep his nose there. Donny Henriksen is going to try and keep it around the outside for your lead. For the Masters of Talk car, come on Donny, you are in the lead right now. Fight this position for everything it is worth. The pit stops, unfortunately, could create an all manner of scenarios. But look at Donny defending the inside of turn 5. That is how you drive that car. Defends it nice and easy. And Martin Wallace is putting John Bailiff under pressure. Sam Van Olst now looking around the outside of Wallace. Depart keeping it clean, and Toyka behind him. Jake Cranston in P7. King P8. Morgan Burkhardt. Henry Morse. And Kyle Ridley quietly in the top 11 as well. Alexander van der Velde up 4 places, as is Kyle Ridley in these positions. Your biggest gainer so far, Eric Mannenfeld in P25, is up 7 places after the disastrous finish in the last race. Joshua Germany and Ade Koba, though, they are both back out on track. Where is Ade? Oh no, he's not. He is out. He's out of the round. Is Ade Koba? Joshua Germany should be out there somewhere, though. There he is. He's in P31. RIP Mannenfeld and far for top 10. Go Morse. Well, let's go back to this lot because they are fighting hard, and Martin Wallace is still very much under pressure from Sam Van Olst, and it looks like John Bailiff is going to try the outside line this time into the next corner, but Donny is still very much fighting for everything here. He's going to try and lean on John as he goes around the outside. I think John might have this move done, though, as there's a car that was properly nearly off the circuit there. I think that was Henry Morse. John Bailiff, oh, he can't move over. Donny Henriksen has still got his nose there for turn 5, and John Bailiff just about gave him room. Martin Wallace, I think, has been passed by Sam Van Olst, who is now in P3, and Sam Van Olst looking down the inside of Donny Alpha Henriksen now. Martin Wallace down in P4. He needs to just try and hold on and not be shuffled down that order. He's got a lot of very quick guys now coming up behind him, but Martin Wallace himself is quick. Donny Henriksen's off the circuit. He's on the grass. Can he keep his foot in and rejoin safely? He can. Donny Henriksen's back on the circuit, but he's going to lose P2. He might lose P3 as Wallace is on his inside for turn 10. Dupart is going to get a lovely run out of that final corner. Wallace is going to actually have a ruined run out of that final corner because he was on the inside line. And look at Cranston coming through. It's 3 wide, 4 wide, 3 wide down towards turn 1. Jake Cranston's going to gain 2 positions here, potentially. He's on the inside of Wallace. He's got Burkhardt on the outside. Dupart is round there as well. And look at Wallace playing it nice and cleanly. He slots back into P5, I believe. But I think Dupart is still there as we see a load of drivers come into the pits. 10.4 for Downing, 9.5 for Blake, 10.5 for Mannenfeld, 12.2 for Corpus, 12.1, 11.2. The pit stop times there showing at the bottom of your screen. And Germany, I think, let's have a look. I can't believe we're going to have a look at pit stops already. There are your stoppers. King currently leading the pit stoppers there with a nice, actually healthy gap to Dan Downing behind, who is with Dan Blake, and they might fight and lose time. Teemu Toyka and Dupart fighting through the S's, through 7, 8 and 9. Toyka's on the inside of 9. Dupart round the outside of turn 9. Sorry, they're heading down towards turn 10. I was just reading chat. Greg for the win. That Jetta taking the off-road easily as Teemu Toyka comes into the pits. Someone saying P1 for Sam Van Olst. I will be very happy for that man if he wins this race. Sam Van Olst is currently putting the pressure on John Bailiff here in that Goldwing machine. And if you're not screaming at home, you should be absolutely screaming for this man to try and do what he can. Teemu Toyka 9.1, 8.7 pit stop for Kyle Ridley. That's the quickest stop we've seen so far. Jameson Huffman 10.2. So Kyle Ridley, I believe, has come out in front of Stephen King, as has Teemu Toyka in the lead of the pit stop fights. So at the moment, in terms of pit stops, Teemu Toyka leads this race. Sam Van Olst, though, only 2 tenths back from John Bailiff, who's right in front of him as Henry Morse and Andre Mayerek swap over as they head down towards turn 5. Mayerek not giving up round the outside. I think they're going to just slot single file there. Do you know what? I am pleasantly impressed, surprised, jealous that I'm not in a race of this caliber, to be honest. And that's how I think you should judge whether a race is, well, not you. I judge a race whether it's good as if I want to be there, and I very much do want to be in this race, because so far, apart from again a couple drivers out of the 33, we've seen Cobra and Thurtle out of this race. Joshua Germany involved in a couple of incidents. Everyone else seems to have absolutely been keeping this clean. Jake Cranston not hanging around and trying to make moves on Sam Van Olst. This is the fighter that we know. We always see Jake. He never settles. Never settles for a certain amount of points. Unless he's, well, I think we've only seen it once when he was really under pressure. But look at Burkhardt and Wallace behind there through turn 2, side by side. Wallace slots back behind him. Morgan Burkhardt gets through to P5. Wallace still in the top 6 here. So please bear that in mind, because it's going to... Sam Van Olst and Jake Cranston into turn 5. It's all going to come to blows after the pit stop phase is completed. Kakula says, I support Fat Timu 46. Where is that man? He's here, leading the pit stop fight. And look at Stephen King in 9 tenths back, being dragged by his teammate Slipstream. There you go, 2 team players. Where's the third Pulsar's car? There's always 2 strong cars in a team, and the third driver tends to have a nightmare. But, well, it's just the way it goes sometimes. It's really hard to get a 1, 2, 3 in the Jetta Cup, it seems. Nearly happened in Season 2, twice. Didn't happen. Has happened in the RLTC, just the one time. We ever see a team 1, 2, 3 here in the Jetta Cup, I will be amazed. But I feel like the teams are fairly weighted. So it's all good. It's all done by luck, actually. It's all done by the own teams sorting themselves out, really. Now that we're 3 seasons in. The first team was a little bit random, but here we are with everyone swapping and asking each other, do they want to drive for the team? 12 teams on the grid, 3 drivers in each. We're on lap 9 of 19. The sprint race was 10 laps. So you would assume fuel only lasts a little bit longer than that. Maybe 10, maybe 11 laps. John Bailiff, though, not buckling under this pressure. Cranston and Henriksen, both for Masters of Torque in 3rd and 4th. Another team today, and Agard is in 10th. Wallace, Otley and Hughes, 6th, 11th and 13th right now. Holmichael and Carraday, 14th and 15th right now. I saw someone else up there that would have been happy. Dan Thornton is up there in P12 right now. These are insane positions. Alexander Van der Velde is up 9 positions in P7. Jake Cranston and Donnie Henriksen come into the pit lane. So here we go. The Masters of Torque drivers, the Brit and the Dane come in. Greg Otley chooses to follow as well. Keep an eye on that track map and the pit stop times. What are they going to do? Still stationary. We've got our eye on Jake Cranston. Teemu Toika is about to come round the final corner. I think Jake Cranston is going to come out quite comfortably ahead. But look at the speed run. This is what the speed looks like down the main straight. What does it look like from Teemu Toika's car? He's going to pass Donny Alpha Henriksen. It was... I didn't see the times. Some of you will have to tell me what the times were. But Jake Cranston has come out very much ahead of Teemu Toika and Stephen King. Donny Henriksen slots behind them. And the 2 Pulsars cars enter the Masters of Torque sandwich. We can actually have a look at pit stop times. I told a lie. It looks like this. 9.7 for Cranston, 9.1 for Toika, 10.4 for King, 10.2 for Henriksen. Otley and Downing swapping over, fighting. They're still fighting side by side. Into turn 2 are Otley and Downing. Otley just came into the pit, so he must have came out very close to Dan in the Goldwing car. Dan having a good race. He's had his stop and he's up in P16. So Dan settled down his mental strength. Ooh, sounded like contact behind. And getting his head in the game. Martin Wallace, Majorek, Agard, Holmichael in the pits right now. Austin Farr hasn't pitted yet. Jake Cranston, your lead pit driver. Well, this looks fairly comfortable, I think, for some of these positions. Let's have a look on the nose of Jake Cranston. Is anyone going to come out of those pits? No. Let's have a look on the rear of Jake Cranston. There's a couple of drivers coming out. It would be better to actually have a look. Yeah, look at the speed difference from the pit lane to the people coming down the main straight. It's Agard, Majorek, side by side into turn 1. Henry Morse is back there as well. Some more 9-second stops there, 9.2 and 9.3 for Agard and Majorek. That's a decent stopping time for those two. But let's have a look at this. Lap 11 of 19, John Bailiff, Sam Van Olst and Morgan Burkhardt are very much leading this race. They're by themselves. They are not fighting. Dan Thornton has now come out back by Andy Fox and Carraday. Carraday, props to Carraday on Thursday's practice. A very difficult driver to pass, it seems. He's very good at defending as we see your lead drivers come into the pits. I'm a little bit nervous. That is a big gap to Jake Cranston. I'm not sure what to expect. I think, well, let's go. I'll tell you what, we'll try this one more time. Let's go on top of Jake Cranston's car and see what the situation is. I think he might have done it. Jake Cranston could be about to take the lead of this race. It actually looks fairly comfortable for the Master. Oh, no, there they are. 3 drivers coming out the pits. There's Sam Van Olst, Morgan Burkhardt, John Bailiff, all sitting ducks as Jake Cranston swoops round the outside. Is anyone else going to get a position? Toyka might be about to pass Sam Van Olst with his run. Stephen King is going to try as well. Sam Van Olst is going to try and break deep. Bit of a lock up there from Sam, but he keeps it clean. Stephen King is going to have to tuck in behind one of those drivers as Thornton and Farr are side by side on the pit exit as well. Toyka is going to move up into P4. And Sam Van Olst backs out, and that position is now done. But Cranston, up 7 places, is 1 second in the lead. But 12 laps out of 19 completed. Bit of contact from behind there. I wonder if that was Toyka getting a nudge from Sam Van Olst. If it was, it would be better for Sam to give the position back than receive a penalty for advantage by contact. That's an assumption, though. That might not have been the case. I just heard a bump. Henry Morse and Dupart side by side through the S's again. Ooh, that was nice. Dan Downing is coming through. He's in P13 after the pit stops is Dan Downing. All the pit stops are done, so I can get rid of that data. Pit stops are completed. Dan Downing is about to swoop round the outside of Patrick Dupart into the final corner. Should get a better run. He tried holding him tight. He's going to be in the slipstream, and John Bailiff still 1 second back from Jake Cranston. Burkhardt will be pushing John here. Yep, as I said, these two will be working together. They've got a limited amount of time to catch that orange machine who won both races last time out. What's happened to Alejandro Carraday? Is it a team-on-team incident? Yes, it is. Meatball on meatball, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was a meatball. And we see Jan Weiswanger go around the outside of Carraday as well. It's unfortunate for the Spanish driver. Morgan Burkhardt now. The gap, 8 tenths between Bailiff and Cranston. Van Olst still here as well. Got the 2 Polsters cars behind. Henriksen is still in P7. Where is Martin Wallace after all of these stops? Greg Otley is in front of him. We said these two were close on pace, and it turns out they are together on track again with a 14th and a 15th. And although he was earlier on in the top of this race, he can't be disappointed with this at all. Midfield finishes consistently will climb up the order. Sorry, I was distracted by the usual bots coming in. Huffman is in the pits again. That's a meatball for that man. Because he had already pit. Or is it a drive-through? He's reached 24x. He's had a drive-through penalty, has Jameson Huffman. So 24x, the limit in the Jetta Cup races. If you hit that, it's a drive-through and it can't be undone. So the Frog Leap Juiced racing car of Jameson Huffman getting a 24x penalty. So that is... well, it's unfortunate. Whoa, look at the viewers. I've just had a look at the chat because I was trying to ignore the Tinder bot. Other dating apps are available. I'm not sponsored by them. The we've got viewers across Racing Line, YouTube and Twitch, and VCO Esports and Twitch. We need to shout you all out. Thank you for watching with us. It is 5 laps to go, and I think it's about time. Do you know what? I've been on form today. Have a look at this. 5 laps to go. Vote in chat your driver of the day. The link... Well, actually, you know what? That's not the driver of the day link. That is a live timing link. Let me get the link for the voting for the driver of the day. Will not take me long at all as Jake has corner. Meatball team be like friendly fire enabled. Morse is slowly pushing. Manenfeld did a lot of gains from 30 seconds. Oh, vote the driver of the day. Right, here is the link. It's about to be copied and pasted across all 4 channels. Here it comes, and it's gone through to all of you. If you click that link, you'll see all 32 drivers on the list. Vote your driver of the day. Make sure it is worth it. I know Greg and Sam's army has come out in force, but try and vote based on what you see on track and not your, well, not even, do you know what? They might not be your friend. Maybe they're just who you're supporting. Whoa, look at the drift from Sam Van Olst around that turn. Keeps it pinned. I want to see that again. Can we see that again? I want to see that again. Brakes on the grass. That's not Sam. That is Sam. I imagine Kakula is going to get a picture of that. One more time. Full speed. Power move, says Rud Grand Prix Speedrun Racing. Really enjoyed that. Well done, Sam. There you go. You got your moment of fame for today's race. But unfortunately for the Goldwing driver, he did get passed by 2 Pulsars cars. Donny Henriksen has got an issue. He's off the circuit. I don't know what this is. Is it a VR headset issue? Is he pulling over and quitting? Is he out of fuel? He can't change gear. He's stuck in 6th. Vince Cussy says asserting his dominance. Shane Burke says cooling them tyres for a mega comeback. I'm really confused at what is going on with Donny Henriksen's car. It looks like on the dash he's stuck in 6th. That is a real shame because he was having a cracking race today. That's unfortunate. I'm sure we'll be asking him what happened later on in this race. But at the moment, this is what it looks like as Dupart and Downing. I'll tell you what, Downing, I keep saying it, he's had a good race today in the feature. He's climbed his way back up to P12. We mentioned earlier in the build-up, he's been through the highs and lows of motorsport this season. He really has. And it was questionable how he's P8 in the standings, but this is showing why it's not questionable, because when he does have a bad race like the sprint race, he somehow finds his way back up. And if he has a good sprint race and ends down in the feature race, he's just really up and down the order. But look at him in P12 right now, all over the back of Patrick Dupart in the ORD car. ORD again, Mayrek and Dupart up in the top 11, both of those cars. A strong showing from them once again. And I think Wallace is about to pass. I think it was Wallace passing Greg Otley. Round the out. Look at the squirreling on the brakes for Martin Wallace there. Broke as late as he dared. And Martin Wallace swoops around the outside to take P13 from his teammate. And Bailiff and Morgan are absolutely going for it right now back here. They have been swapping places left, right and centre. Morgan Burkhardt down the inside of turn 5. Toyka's trying to pick one to follow through. Follow through the order, I mean. Don't take that to what I just said. John Bailiff there. Oh, look at that. Toyka just turns into his rear, bounces off. That happens so often in these cars. Oh, no, Wallace. What's happened to Wallace? He's had a little bit of an issue. He's dropped 2 places. No, okay, he's just sort of, maybe they were racing, continuing to race, and he just got shuffled out a little bit, but Dan Blake took advantage of that and moved up a position. Jake Cranston behind the trees. And Holst do be playing Hot Pursuit 3 doing them power slides, just taking the tourist route. Sam Van Olst is not out of this race. He's in P6, and I think that'll be 2 top 10 finishes for him today, and he's about to have a look down the inside of Stephen King. He very much has the run. down towards turn 1. This is what it looks like in turn 1. Jake, Burkhardt, Bailiff, Toyka, King and Vanals side by side. They're going to continue on their way out. Here they are, and now King is going to have the... Oh, look at this for a view of turn 3. Should we see is he going to come sliding through this? King and Vanals still swapping. Are they still side by side? There they are. Whoa! Look at Alexander van der Velde going as wide as he dares. Patrick Depart was side by side with someone as well. Down towards turn 5. Whoa! Van der Velde drifting his car down the inside of King. Contact made, but they're going to survive. Insane racing from this pack. There really is. Van der Velde and Agard swapping places now. Whoa! Jerry Agard around the outside of turn. I don't know what turn it is anymore. 6. In down the inside of 7. There's contact as Van der Velde cuts across Jerry's nose. Jerry Agard really tried the optimistic move. Interview Greg this time, the People's Champ. Never knew Jettas could be so entertaining to watch. Cut, says Rudd Grand Prix. I'm so confused at what just happened, but Agard looked like he was very much set up for that move. And then Van der Velde really forcing him out there as we go to white flag, the last lap of this race. Great way to eat popcorn to see the fight, and look at them all shuffling. This is the last lap of desperation. Greg Otley, look at this train of cars in the background weaving down the straight. They all followed, and Jake Cranston and Morgan Burkhardt make contact into turn 1. Cranston's been forced wide. Morgan Burkhardt is taking the lead of this race on the last lap. Bailiff is going to try and come through as well. Was there contact for that move? He's going to slot into P2. Teemu Toika's looking for his way to try and claim another podium this season. But Morgan Burkhardt takes the lead of this race on the last lap. Can we have a quick replay before it gets too spicy? This is what it looked like down the inside for turn 1. Jake Cranston actually just turns into him. So the contact was not Morgan's fault. He gets his wheel on the dirt. So that move was legit. It's all to play for us. John Bailiff looks down the inside of turn 6. He's on the inside for 7. This battle is going to continue round. Now Cranston's on the inside for 8. And look at the speed he carried through there. John Bailiff actually lifted off by the looks of it to keep himself in that podium position, I guess. And the final lap is about to come to a close. Round the final corner they go. Morgan Burkhardt enters turn 10 with Jake Cranston right up his chuff. This is what it looks like from John Bailiff's point of view. They head down towards the start-finish line, and Morgan Burkhardt is going to take another win here at Summit Point. It's Cranston in P2 and Bailiff in P3, and look at the wiggle of the Project Dynamic car. Jake Cranston's happy as well. These two rivals till the end, but friendly rivals. They've really been keeping it entertaining, these two. Dan Thornton had an off-track moment there somewhere at the end. He was with Jan Weiswanger. Has he broken on the grass, Dan Thornton? He's put his foot down too early. He's just going to commit to the gravel. Slides it right around. I think he should have the run from Weiswanger. Luckily, we're not at COTA and we're not the FIA, so I don't think he'll get penalised for track limits. Well, insane. 11 places gained for Morgan Burkhardt. 13 places gained for Daniel Downing. Jake Cranston's going to have a little bit of a drift off the circuit. Morgan Burkhardt. I'm just going to have a quick look at something to make sure that I'm not incorrect. Yeah, okay, I was right. Morgan Burkhardt, the second double winner of the season. And that, he's going to be, one, he's going to be over the moon with that. He really is. Two, he would have closed his championship lead. His championship, the gap to the championship lead. What else was I going to say? Oh, 3. That puts him. Everyone was even. There was 3 drivers even on 2 wins each. That now jumps him to 4 wins this season in 1 round. As the Project Dynamic cars line up side by side, and Burkhardt gives us some celebratory donuts in the pit lane exit. Look at the side of his car. Look, Cranston for 3? Question mark. Morgan Burkhardt putting on the show. He's going to kiss Jake Cranston. They're going to high five out the window, maybe. 2 of the fastest guys on the grid. The 1 and 2 car. They're going to have a little tug of war, I guess. Here they go. Going to push him into the Shadow Realm. And Jake's on his roof. Nick Danger 61 in chat says... Hang on, I'm going to get rid of this camera because their shenanigans are distracting. Is that the first non-Jake Cranston double win? No. And I shall tell you why. This is off the cuff, but we all remember this round. So in Season 1, all that time ago. Back in Season 1. Oh my god, what a time. Did we have teams? We had teams in Season 1, but there was only 6 or 7 teams. The rest were independent drivers. The grid was around between 20 and 25. And we had a young Porsche driver by the name of Charles Rainford start the first 5 rounds of the season, 4 or 5 rounds. And he took the Jetta Cup's first double win, actually. It was quite scary at Lime Rock West Bend chicane layout, which we went to last time out. Which is why it was quite fitting, actually, that Jake Cranston took a double win last time out at West Bend chicane, because the last time we saw that double win, I believe, was the West Bend chicane in Season 1 with Charles Rainford. But now we've just seen our third. I feel like I might be forgetting someone's double win, but at the same time, I actually think I'm right. Rainford, Lime Rock West Bend Season 1. Cranston, Lime Rock West Bend Season 3, sorry, we're in Season 3. And now Summit Point Raceway, Morgan Burkhardt. What was I doing? I was doing something. I think I was adding his name to this. That's not right. Where's the Burkhardt? Morgan Burkhardt? There he is. 4 wins. I wonder where that puts him in the standings, to be honest. And we're going to have to wait until next week to find out. For those of you that are not, well, I hope that you all stick around, whether you're watching with us or VCO eSports, but we've got some interviews to come your way, as well as have a look at the driver of the day. If you didn't already vote for the driver of the day, there is the link again. It's gone to all 4 channels, so vote for your driver of the day now that the race is over. But yeah, you'll find out the championship order and any penalties, anything like that, just like you did today from Lime Rock. You'll find that out next week, Monday, at Laguna Seca, before we head to Long Beach for the first time. We have never raced Long Beach in the Jetta Cup. That is going to be an interesting one. And then we've got a break, and then the final 3 rounds of the season. So we've now done half of the season, round 5 complete, before we head to Japan for 2 rounds, and then Australia, our final round. Oran Park is always a great race, so it ended up taking the final spot on the calendar this season, in place of Watkins Glen, which was the final round for the previous 2 seasons, the Watkins Cup layout. Right, let's get the results music on. Didn't play that during the race. That worked. And it's interview time. Interview time. Let's put that up there. Let's have a look at those feature race results. This is how it ended. Morgan Burkhardt took your win by 1/10 of a second. Jake Cranston P2, John Bailiff P3, Timu Toyka, Stephen King, Sam Van Alsten P6, Van der Velde P7, Agard, Morse and Mayerek. Downing made it to P11 in the end. Depart 12th, Otley 13th. He'll be happy with that. That might be a season best, if my memory serves rightly. Dan Blake 14th. He'll be happy with that. Wallace 15th. Ikalakwe, Jesus and Mundere. Do you know what? Lurchus Gaming. Let's give them a round of applause, please. I haven't seen their fans in chat today. Normally it's Lurchus that are all over the chat. Where's Faguelthio? Where's Valdez 31? And all the other Lurchus crew. Because that's 2 solid midfield finishes for 2 cars for Lurchus Gaming. I'd be interested to see how many points they got, to be honest. Eric Manentveld in P18. Joshua Germany finished P19 in the end after the first lap incident. So we did climb some places. Hughes P20, Corpus 21st, Burns up to 22nd, Far down in 23rd. So a bad feature race for Austin Farr. Andy Fox 24th, Holmichael 25th, Huffman with the drive-through ended 26th, Caraday 27th, Thornton in the end 28th, Weisfanger 29th, Henriksen 5 laps down after that issue. Oh man. Yeah, do you know what? If Henriksen's in chat, or I'll have a look in the Discord in a second. Interesting to find out what happened to him. Ridley out of the race. Can't remember what happened to Kyle. If I'm honest, I don't know if chat can remember. I feel like it might be something really obvious. Let me have a look through these replay things. Did anyone remember what happened to Kyle Ridley during this race? How has he disappeared? Kyle Ridley entered the pit lane, so he got to the pit phase. Did he then just quit? Kyle Ridley entered the pit lane again. Did he have a meatball and then quit? He did leave the pits. The bits again. Don't know why that's showing up twice. Left the pits, 8.7 seconds. Did he under fuel? He was a quick pit stop, wasn't he? It's coming. For some reason, it's showing up that he's entered the pits loads of times. Yeah, I could. Do you know what? I'm sort of reading chat in the corner of my eye, and I am aware that there are many people who probably need to be interviewed today after that race. I'm going to stop trying to find out what happened to Kyle because I just simply can't find it. So let's get the interviews underway and have a look at things like driver of the day. Andre Mayerex jumped in chat, said he's got no pace tonight, but he did have, I'm sure we saw him up there, so that is not entirely true. He did have another good race. I'm guessing he's talking about the feature, actually. Right, results. Your driver of the day. Yeah, well, look at this. They're bringing out their fans. And your driver of the day is Sam Van Olst, with 7 votes to Greg Otley's 6. Greg Otley did have a good race. Sam Van Olst did actually have probably his best round of the season so far. So it wouldn't be too unfair to say that Sam Van Olst is the driver of the day. Although Morgan Burkhardt did pull off an absolutely amazing last lap manoeuvre for the win. Martin Wallace did race today with a replaced hip from a few days ago. Friday. That man got his hip replaced. He's very doped up on drugs. And that man finished in the top 10, I think, in the first race. And then up there again in the second. Right. Interviews. Who is waiting for me? Who is waiting for me? We've got Morgan in there, Jake Cranston's in there, Jameson Huffman's in there, and Timu Toyka is in there. Let's have a look at quick relook at the results. Timu Toyka P4, and Austin Farr was up there, Huffman, Morgan Burkhardt. We have to talk to Morgan Burkhardt. Let's bring him in first. You're today's double winner, Morgan Burkhardt. He's won both races. That must feel pretty good, Morgan. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really quite good. It's a good feeling to do a double win, especially at my home track. So I didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off, especially in a feature, but I nailed the pit stop for once, and I jumped Sam, and then got in with John and started to bump draft him, and then kind of just got lucky with him and passed where I passed him and then where I passed Jake.
Of course, this one actually is all. We were saying earlier in chat that all the American tracks are the home races for the Americans, but this one actually is your local circuit. Is that right?
It is. I live about 15 minutes from the gate, and when there's cars on course on the weekends, I can hear them in my backyard.
Well, there you go. That part explains it. But it was a cracking race, and what a last lap move in the feature. Well, I mean, was that planned? Was you just sat behind waiting for that last opportunity? It looked like from the replay, from the angle we had anyway, it looked like Jake just had to try squeezing you tight towards the apex, and then the contact forced him wide a little bit. So it looked like a racing. Rubbing racing situation, and you took the win on the last lap. Was you worried about him getting it back, or was it all in control?
I was a bit worried. I think after I got John, I knew he wouldn't really try and fight it right back because we were still trying to catch Jake at that point. So kind of head down for, I think it was 2 laps after I passed John that I got Jake and got him into turn 1, and he wasn't close enough to get into 3, but I had to take a little bit of a defensive line into 5 to make sure he didn't get the run inside, and then was able to kind of hold the inside into 6 and slow him up, so I got the run into 10 and was fine from there.
Of course. Well, it's Laguna Seca next. How are you feeling about that?
I love Laguna. It'll be a lot of fun. I think I got my first Jetta Cup win there, so it's definitely a good track for me, so we'll see. So
as expected, the American leg so far paying off for you. You went from in that one round as well, I was just saying, you went from having 2 wins, which was equal with the other double winners so far, to 4. So you're now like twice as many wins ahead of everyone. It'll be interesting actually to see the point standings after this, because I feel like you're going to close that gap. Even though Jake was right behind you, I feel like you're going to have closed that gap quite an amount today. So it's looking good, Morgan. As usual, is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
Well, I'd definitely like to thank my parents for making all of this possible, and I'd like to thank Jameson's parents and Jameson because it's helped me out a lot this season, and Kyle's mom, of course. More thanking parents. Love Kyle's mom. So yeah, and the rest of the Project Dynamic team and Jill for giving me the ride this season. So it's going well so far.
Thank you very much, Morgan. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
And there he goes. Let's speak to... It's been a while, and it might be even longer before we speak to... Actually, you know what? I can't even see him. As if Sam Van Olst gets the opportunity to get an interview and he disappears. That, we're not going to wait around for him. So that is that. We will pull in Teemu Toika, is still sat in the interview waiting room. It's P4 in the feature race, Teemu. How are you feeling, sir? It was looking a little bit worrying in practice with the connection, but it seems to have sorted itself out. You end up having a really strong race.
I feel tired, thanks.
Tired?
Well, it is 11:49 p.m. and I've been up for about 20 hours now.
Oh my god, a 20-hour day. And you ended it off with a top 5 finish. So close to the podium. Did you feel like it was on, or was you sat playing it safe?
I just couldn't decide whether I wanted to attack or play it safe with a P4 in the end there, but I did try after John and Morgan and Jake tried to battle a bit on the last few laps, but I just couldn't match them in the end. But overall, I'm very happy with today's results.
I think so. It was a very strong race, and you had Stephen right up there with you as well. You've got Kakalo as your biggest fan in chat, a fellow Finn, I believe, the photographer for the series. He takes many of the photos, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of yourself and your finished flag on your car. Is there have you done many sort of races in this car before? Is this a new car for yourself, or have you raced this car quite regularly?
I wouldn't say regularly, but I have done a few races, official ones, and then mostly endurance stuff. Like I remember doing Bathurst 12-hour race that was with a Jetta and MX5, I believe. And we did the Melons 24, which was also Jetta and MX5. So that's roughly my experience, and I just really like the Jetta. It has something that really pulls me towards it every time I see a league or an event with it.
Yeah, it's an interesting little car to race, and I think because it's that little bit sort of slower, a little bit sluggish, the racing ends up being quite tight, and there's no setup for it, so everyone's in an even car, so it does make the racing really good. This is the first time you've been up in the interview box, Timo, so in usual fashion, before I let you go, is there anyone that you want to say hello or thank you to before I put you back in the driver's room?
Well, I mean, I'd like to thank all of the millions of fans that turn out here today, and thank you, stream team commentary for the good job today. I believe you did a good job today, even though I haven't watched the stream today. But
thank you.
And thank you, Pulse eSports for the ride, and Hi, Mom.
No worries, Timo. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
There he goes. And a quick shout out for Pulsus there as well. Look at him thanking his team, giving that great car. One more interview. Let's bring in... Sam Van Elst is not back. And I did say earlier, actually, that we would speak to this man. I did want to speak to Dan Downing, but we limit it to 3. And I think it's only right that we speak to Martin Bob Wallace, who... I mean, can you speak on all the drugs that you're on right now with this hip replacement? Or...
Yes, I can.
So... how was that for you today?
Painful would be a good word to begin with. Hats off to all the folks that can use hand controls and still function.
Wait, you were actually using hand controls today? I thought that was a joke.
No, it was not a joke. My legs just do not work correctly since I literally just got a whole part replaced.
Oh, well, tell us more about this then. What are these hand controls? So, are you just using an Xbox controller, or?
No. The Podium model, they've got some extra levers that most people use for clutches, but you can change them over to throttle and brake. So I was utilizing that, so I didn't have to use my feet.
Well, that is something I didn't know before going into this, really. Well, someone mentioned it in chat, but I didn't know what they meant, so I think I just played it off. But that is insane that you managed those results. You get a race like that forever now, because I feel like this is one of your strongest results this week. The first race was great, and you ended up actually still, I think before this you've been 15th or thereabouts, so you are matching your original pace. And it was a top 10 in the first race, and you and Greg always seemed quite evenly matched, so it's good to see you didn't lose any speed. There's something about Summit Point and you though, Martin, isn't there? You're very quick round here.
Yeah, and I lost a lot of spots on my pit stop because with all the concentration and the thinking happening, I stopped in third gear and didn't drop it back down into first. So when I started, it was very, very slow, and that lost me way more positions than I'd planned.
Oh, there you go. So you knew what happened though. You've analysed your race already. And we're going forward to Laguna Seca. Is that a race you're looking forward to?
Not even a little bit. I am not good at Laguna Seca at all.
Well, that's put a downer on the end of the night. Thank you for that.
No, not at all. I love racing with these guys, and it's a lot of fun. I will be, I'm sure, solidly mid-pack, and I'll try to put my best foot forward, just like I did here.
Of course. Thank you very much, Martin. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
Absolutely. Just want to say hello to Kyle's mom. Thank you for watching. My ZFG fans that are out there, Skylar, Greg, all the guys that are watching, appreciate you guys. And of course, the ZFG family that's driving with us. And of course, to you, thanks for putting on this great show, man.
No worries, Martin. Thank you very much. We'll speak to you soon.
All right, on.
There he goes. Right. I'm so lost for words. The day is over. The race, another cracking event, I think, from my point of view. I don't know how you guys felt. It looked like you enjoyed it in chat, and that is great news. Thank you very much, of course, for coming along to watch the Volkswagen Jetta Cup powered by GT Omega. Don't forget to use your discount code TRL or TRL5 for 5% off, especially during their Halloween deals. Thank you to those of you that have watched over on VCO eSports, whether it's YouTube or Twitch as well. Thank you to Kakala of VCO eSports for taking the photos of the event, which you can see at theracingline.org if you want to catch up on any news and updates on the Jetta Cup and the previous touring car season that we did. There's only been one season of that. That will probably be next. After the Jetta Cup finishes, if you're looking for another league. So yeah, go catch up on some history. For those of you that have joined us during this phase of season 3, if you want to start looking at the history of the Jetta Cup, go and have a look at that. You can see all the previous race results, previous standings, and pictures from the last 2 seasons at least. We didn't have a photographer for first season. Yeah, it's been great as usual. That is pretty much it from me. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace.
Rather disgruntled by Rosberg's driving. Okay, he pushed me off the track. I think you are